Well guys, I've just quickly stepped out of the shed to have a little talk about my 2014 FG Falcon. Now if you're outside of Australia, you might not be familiar with this car, but basically it is Australia's answer to the family sedan, and this has the infamous all over the world engine, the 4-litre straight six Barra. Now in Australia, specifically we're in Geelong right now, this is where it was made. We are very lucky to have this engine exclusively. And there's a lot of cool things about this engine, but mine isn't, right? It is a NA non-turbo daily driver spec. And as you can even see, the car is filthy, right? We do live up a dirt road. And I don't know, I just wanted to talk to you guys about my experience with this car for almost the last 6 months, as I am obviously a Holden guy. And I did, go on the dark side for a little bit. And this is my honest thoughts. Well, number one is what has gone wrong with the car in 6 months of ownership. Virtually nothing. We did have one tyre wear unevenly, and I think the other side is going to go soon, but that's about it. But it is slightly connected to a failing in this car, is that around 200,000 Ks, and this one's just got to 213, and I think we bought it at 202 or something like that. When we bought it, it had the entire rear diff cradle and bushes and suspension, all of that stuff done. And that was around $6,000. So it was an absolute fortune, but luckily the other bloke that we bought it off paid for that. So we didn't have to pay for it at all, but I'm guessing that it wasn't quite aligned properly and all that stuff. So it needs an alignment, and that is why one of the tires wore unevenly. So all of the normal things that you would get around 200,000 Ks, fortunately this car has not really had any issue with because they've all been fixed. However, if you were buying an FG around these kilometers, you probably would have to fix them. The other thing that is important for daily drivability is fuel economy. Now, what are we getting out of this big fat car? It is very heavy. It feels heavy when you drive it. Although it's nice to drive, it does feel heavy. We're getting around town around 9.1 litres per 100 Ks. When we're on the highway, we recently took this car to Canberra and back. We got it down to about 8.5, or sort of around that number, 8.3, something like that. Pretty good, but again, it's a 6-speed auto, the ZF 6-speed. That's the other thing. If you're buying an FG, you definitely want one. You're buying an auto with the ZF 6-speed. This particular one is a 2014, so it's one of the very last ones before they go to the FGX. So it's got the updated infotainment screen and stuff like that. But 2014 is a little bit of a hard time because it's just before all CarPlay and Android Auto and all of that kind of stuff started to become standard in cars. The other massive upside of this car is because of what's under the bonnet, the 4-litre Barra. It's very easy to service, maintain, repair, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I chose this car, because even though it's only 10 years old, it can still be serviced at home, still repaired at home, maybe with the one exception of that whole diff rear end situation, right? That takes a little bit more than probably what I can do, right? But servicing at home, which is an absolute piece of piss, really. And we did that obviously before we took it up to Canberra and back. We haven't done anything other than an oil change. I think that's it. Clean it, service it. That's really about it. Again, we're fortunate that it had a lot of pulleys and belts replaced on the roadworthy. So there wasn't anything like that, but it's very usable. It's a great family car. I mean, we had the swag in the back. We had a table in the back, like a little camping table for 2 people. We had all of our clothes and everything, and it's a really big space. The boot is huge, and it's a great daily. And if I'm honest, I think the market reflects this, because we paid $10,000 for this one, and we could probably still sell it for that as well after it's probably had a buff. But 10 grand, if you're looking at VEs, sort of the same age, or you'd probably be looking at VFs actually, probably for 2014. And look, I have to admit, maybe the interiors aren't as nice as these. Maybe I do have to admit that maybe the interiors aren't as nice as the VF, which is, the Holden equivalent. But they got the Barra. No matter, even if you're not a Ford bloke, and I can understand it, you don't want to be Team Blue, but you can't deny that the Barra is a fantastic engine. It really is. And that is this car's strongest point by far. Another weak part that has just come to mind is the door handles. We haven't broken any, but The interior driver's handle especially, it feels like it's just always on the borderline of snapping. It's a good car. It's a really good car, and you know, a lot of people have asked me, you know, why did I even choose an FG, or why did I not get a VE or a VF or anything like that? Well, of course, one reason is I don't want to drive my Holdens every day. I'm in a very, very unique position where I get recognised a lot, and the FG completely flies under the radar. I don't want an exciting or loud or even a manual car as a daily anymore. When I was younger, you know, that's all I wanted. But now, having something like this that just flies under the radar, auto, quiet, is nice, honestly. Cruise control, it's got Bluetooth, which is fantastic. It's really got everything, aircon, heater. There's nothing that this car is missing. We specifically chose a G6 as well, which is what this is, so it's not quite a base model, it's a little bit of a step up. But a G6E, or, you know, they've all got the same running gear. We didn't want leather, so that's why we didn't go for the G6E. But I think it's a good looking car. I think it's a great colour under all that dirt, and I don't regret buying it. I think it's a really good usable car, a good family car, and this kind of car is just gone from Australian roads now, or new ones, I mean, you know. Sedans, you know, I was actually really fortunate that Hyundai gave me a Sonata to do a video on not that long ago, and it was a really good car, but even the dealership said that they were really surprised by how poor it was selling just because it was a sedan, and just shows you how quick times have changed. I mean, this was not that long ago. I really like FGs, I like Falcons. I mean, every car's got their strong points, right? I think the VF has a nicer interior than this, but arguably this probably has a better running gear. I think they're both equally good looking cars. Yeah, really hard to say, but I don't know. I was driving this today and I thought I'd give a bit of an update on my thoughts, my experience with the car. It's nice to drive, it's comfy, it's good looking, but it also kind of flies under the radar because, I mean, these are used as taxis and used as, yeah, it's a really good thing. Anyway, I thought I'd give some updates on the FG, just a little quick video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, all of that kind of stuff. If you guys have any questions about the Falcon, put them in the comments below. I'll try and answer them. And I might do videos like this every now and then because I do drive my cars like as much as possible. And yeah, I really like this one. Thank you.